boarding education is different from day primarily because of time. Imagine what it's like. Your child could be sitting on a bus, sitting in a train, sitting in a car going to and from school, whereas at a boarding school there is time to do a whole range of enriching activities, spend time talking informally with their teachers, spend time chatting and playing with their friends, really embracing that whole richness of life that only boarding education can do.
Audio Jungle.
I think probably the two best things about boarding are the amount of time that it gives you and the kind of depth of friendships that you can kind of develop.
The family and community feel that it has. It's everyone looks out for everyone, everyone's there for everyone, everybody wants to see everyone achieve no matter what it is.
And definitely when you board in fourth form, the first bit is very hard being away from home when it's not something you've gone through before. But you definitely bond with people because you're all going through the same situation.
First of all, I didn't know anyone coming in, but in a way I wouldn't have wanted to be a day girl because sometimes I feel like if you're a day girl, sometimes there are socials that go on at night time and you can miss them.
I remember going home at 9 when I was a day boy for the first half of term and thinking, I just kind of want to stay, can you just let me stay?
Weekly boarding has probably made us a stronger family unit than I'd ever anticipated.
You appreciate the time that you're spending with your family more. Yeah, I do miss them, but I think I actually spend as much quality time with them as I might if I didn't board.
There are definitely misperceptions about boarding. It's a fun environment, it's about as close to being at home, but with a ready-made social life, they do all sorts.
If you've got a child who loves the academics, but equally has other passions in their life, whether that's art, music, debating, cricket, football, hockey, whatever that may be, Cranleigh gives them that opportunity to see how far they can push that, see what they can achieve. And when I think about the amount of time I spent running Theo around to after-school clubs and goodness knows what else, having it all in one place has been brilliant because he gets the best of both worlds.
What is really special about Cranleigh is we house every single member of staff. So there are staff around all the time. So relationships are formal and professional, but they're also personal.
At Cranleigh, we're not just classroom teachers, or we're not just a housemaster, or we're not just a sports teacher. We're actually involved in all aspects of pupils' lives.
For the fact that the teachers in the boarding environment are out on a sports pitch, they're in the boarding house, they're getting to know their pupils, this is absolutely crucial in the relationships between pupils and their teachers.
Pupils really get to see their teachers as human beings. They see them outside of lessons, they see them with their own families.
The one biggest advantage you have as a boarder is time. I think you have opportunities in a long working day, and particularly in a boarding day, that you just simply can't get in a 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock environment.
It's all about relationships. It's about having the time and space to build relationships, and when you go home you sort of somehow break that bond in the evening, so it gives us a chance to reflect and allow the girls the time to develop the strong relationships with staff.
And I think when we look back at our own schooling, probably the most significant memories for us are not any individual French, maths or English lesson. I think they tend to be experiences, I think they tend to be the atmosphere, and you just can't foster that properly in an environment when the kids aren't here long enough.
The impact that it has on them during their formative years, I think it gives them resilience, I think it gives them independence, I think they learn tolerance of others, which I think is hugely important.
And it's so interesting speaking to the old boys that leave, and their best men at their weddings, their ushers at their weddings, are people that are in their boarding house with them. And that comes about because we are such a full-on school, because it's a long days, because we're a boarding school, you're able to develop those friendships and relationships.
When you come in the fourth form, you have a big sister who looks after you to make sure you're okay and stuff, which is very reassuring. It's nice to have someone to go to who's up there at the top. But there's lots of opportunities for parents to be involved in school life. Like on matches on the weekends, so many parents would come out and support. And there's so many house events that parents are able to come to, or music events. So you do see them quite often.
They have ready-made friends the whole time round the clock. There's always somebody to talk to, always somebody to go and kick a football with. And just the comradeship, the friendship that they develop is enormous. And I think, well, I can't speak too highly for a boarding life for these boys.
Harry does talk about boarding with just an enormous grin on his face most of the time. I think as well, the amount of time that you spend you know, in a boarding environment really engenders strong friendships.
I just like the community, to be honest, and how just swapping around each time and getting to know loads of people through boarding is really fun.
All the older years are so nice, and it's like one really lovely home. It's like my second home.
Literally, when you walk into West, there's always people around, smiling and laughing, and everyone's always so happy. And it's really good because you get to know the people in your dorm really well because there's not that many, and you have really good chats and lots of fun.
I think what I love about Cranleigh is you blend with other year groups really easily. It's not like, oh, she's not in my year group, I'm not going to talk to her. It's you just talk to everyone and everyone knows everyone and everyone gets along with everyone. Everyone's always talking about the successes of one person, and it's a really nice community to be in.
Don't be scared, because you'll always find someone who you like and likes you, no matter who you are or what you do.
Lots of parents are hesitant about sending their children off to boarding school. I think that's a very natural human reaction. But every parent in my experience who has taken that plunge has found it the most rewarding decision they've ever taken. When I was a housemaster in the boarding house, I used to count down how soon it would be before the first parent of a day pupil called me up to ask if we had any bed space. And very often it was 2 or 3 weeks into the first term. The kids here love boarding.
I love the fact that, you know, childhood goes so quickly, and to be able to say that you spent 5, 7, however many years of it, genuinely happy, engaged in what you're really passionate about, which may not be English or science or maths, but it might actually be spending 5 hours playing cricket on a Sunday afternoon.
Boarding as a generic offering allows the child to benefit not only in the classroom but outside of the classroom. The facilities on campus that, you know, the children are unbelievably privileged to enjoy.
If your son and daughter wants to be involved in everything, if they want to try different things, this is the place to come.
One can literally wake up and decide, I'm going to do anything today. And you can walk around and everything's here. If I want to play tennis, I can go and play tennis on the tennis courts. If I wanted to go play some music, I could do that. You can do pretty much anything, and it's all in the same place, and it's all with your friends.
All the facilities that are here, you know, it's like having a huge back garden with lots of brothers and sisters all the time.
So I would say really get under the skin of the school and see what the school's approach is to that and how they'll help your child exploit all of the talents they have at whatever level those may be.
We use the word family a lot at Cranleigh, and it sort of trips off everybody's tongues, and that's not because it's a sound bite. At Cranleigh really is a family. You just walk around the school and that's the sense you get, it's a family.
I think the advice I would give is really get yourself under the skin of the school's ethos, what it lives and breathes every day. And I think for Cranleigh, one thing stands out and it makes it streets ahead in many ways is the fact there's so much passion and love within the school.
It's wonderful to look round Cranleigh in a summer evening at 8:45 when prep's finished and the boys are running around, the girls are running around, and then you'll see a totally different side to Cranleigh as well. And I think don't just make your mind up and think, stick to it. Come round, speak to us.
Come and meet us, see what it's like.